This is Cecil B. Moneygetter, host of Money Talks, a new financial news upload that is laser focused on digital finance, cryptocurrencies, robotics, electric vehicles, stocks, the cannabis industry, and much, much more. Tune in and join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern on our Information Meets Execution YouTube channel as we bring you financial news uploads, one trending topic at a time. And don't forget to stay listening, because money talks. Good evening. Today is Monday, June 17th, and you're watching Money Talks. First up, in stock market news, GameStop's annual shareholders meeting. A highly anticipated annual shareholders meeting for GameStop Corporation will take place Monday, June 17th, after being postponed from last week. Here are the key items investors most eager to learn more about. Technical difficulties delayed the annual shareholders meeting last week, which occurred with renewed interest in the video game retailer, thanks to an ownership stake from Keith Gill, aka Roaring Kitty. GameStop has also raised around $3 billion via 2 share offerings in recent weeks, which could prompt more interest from investors to tune in and hear what will happen with the proceeds. Benzinga recently polled its followers on X to see what investors might be most excited about heading into Monday's meeting. What you are most looking forward to hearing from GME at its annual shareholders meeting Monday. Benzinga asked, here were the results. Business transformation, 21.3%. Funds usage, 29.1%. Roaring Kitty roll, 36.2%. And crypto investment, 13.5%. The top vote getter was the potential role of Roaring Kitty, who recently shared an update on his investment and now owns 9 million shares. Social media became increasingly excited when they realized that the GameStop annual shareholders meeting falls on the same day as National Take Your Cat to Work Day. The usage of $3 billion in funds came in second place, with GameStop previously saying they would use the funds for general corporate purposes, which could include investments and acquisitions. Roaring Kitty said in a recent live stream that he's invested in GameStop due to a belief in CEO Ryan Cohen and the management team. 21% said they're most interested in hearing how Cohen will turn around the business, which is heavily invested in the physical video game sector that is declining. The potential of a company investment in cryptocurrency came in last place in the poll. GameStop has given minimal details on its plans to use the cash and has not hosted a conference call during many consecutive quarterly financial results. Investors will likely tune in on Monday to hear more details. A company announcement last year shared that Cohen is able to invest the company cash in stocks and other investments. This has led some to speculate that GameStop might acquire a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin for its balance sheet. To date, no filings have shown investments of this type by the company. Investors will also likely be tuning in to hear an update on the company's future plans as the physical video game sector transforms to digital games. Roaring Kitty's stake in the company and ability to rally investors has led to increased speculation that he could push for more involvement with the company. As usual, let me know what you're thinking and how you feel. Next up in real estate news, why almost 90% of American consumers think now is a bad time to buy a home. The monthly home purchase sentiment index reveals that American consumers are increasingly pessimistic about the real estate market. According to the study, 86% of respondents thought now was a bad time to buy a house. This rate is up almost 7% from the previous month, when 79% of respondents said it was a bad time to buy. Not only buyers but sellers are also disheartened by the housing market. The number of respondents who said now is a bad time to sell House jumped from 64% in March to 67% in April. It's not hard to understand why Americans are feeling negative, but the number of respondents who don't expect things to improve is also concerning. A full 42% of respondents said they expect prices to continue rising and mortgage rates to stay the same. This data suggests many Americans may be giving up on home ownership. In a statement about the study results, Fannie Mae's chief economist Doug Duncan elaborated consumer sentiment toward housing declined from its recent plateau as an increasing share of consumers struggle to find the positives in the current housing market. However, there were some rays of hope in Fannie Mae's assessment and survey results. The mortgage giant notes that inventory has increased in 90% of America's real estate markets. More importantly, 84% of survey respondents noticed a lessening of the lock-in effect, which analysts believe has been keeping homes off the market and worsening the inventory crisis. It should be noted that much of the new inventory is concentrated in the southeastern U.S. major markets, and Florida and Texas have seen many new homes as builders scramble to accommodate new residents. That's leading to a softening of the market in some Sunbelt cities simultaneously as the number of new residents trailed off. Some of those markets could become even more affordable as a result. However, America's most challenged markets regarding high prices and low inventory are unlikely to see much relief. Home prices remain stubbornly high in major cities in the Northeast and on the Pacific Coast. Ironically, those high prices account for some of the movement by Americans into the Sun Belt, but the exodus hasn't lowered prices in markets like San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York. Despite these challenges, Americans have not lost their desire to be home owners. Millions would jump into the market if they could find the right deal. The difficulties of today's housing market are likely at the root of their pessimistic outlook. If the inventory crisis continues to ease and interest rates decrease, consumer sentiment will likely improve. Get in those comments and let me know what you think and how you feel. Remember to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern to stay ahead of the curve and listen up as money talks so that you can make informed decisions in this fast-paced digital age. Remember, if you found this information important, to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you at the top. Holla! Next up, news from the cannabis industry. We would like to know, does California have a cannabis crisis? Dangerous pesticides found in popular weed products. An investigation reveals. A joint investigation by the Los Angeles Times and cannabis industry newsletter Weed Week has revealed alarming levels of pesticides in cannabis products sold across California dispensaries. The findings published in the LA Times on Friday highlight significant health risks and expose regulatory shortcomings as 25 out of the 42 tested products contain pesticide concentrations exceeding state and federal safety standards, including chemicals linked to cancer, liver failure, and neurological harm. According to interviews, confidential lab reports, and public agency records, there's been a rise in pesticides being smuggled from China that contain chemicals not permitted in the United States nor screened for in legal weed. Some of these illegal pesticides, say the authors, are so toxic that law enforcement officers who encounter them are advised to use respirators and wear hazmat suits. Repeated inhalations of the pesticide residues through regular smoking or vaping is quite concerning, as this is a relatively direct route of exposure into the bloodstream, said Kimberly Paul, an epidemiologist and assistant professor in neurology at UCLA, who was lead researcher on the Central Valley study. Now, according to the study, vapes contain the most egregious amount of chemicals. Vapes from 5 well-known brands had pesticide loads that exceeded the Federal Environmental Protection Agency's risk thresholds for harm from a single exposure. Some products were found to contain as many as 24 different pesticides. The investigation aligns with numerous complaints filed over the past 8 months by 2 private cannabis testing labs, which reportedly found pesticide contamination in products certified as safe by other labs. According to the investigation, there is a risk for severe health implications. The estimated 5 million Californians who consume cannabis products on a regular basis are at risk, but especially those who use it for medicinal conditions. The growing use of contaminated vapes, particularly those among young adults who may view vaping as a healthier alternative to smoking, exacerbates these public health concerns. The Times and Weed Week said the California Department of Cannabis Control declined to provide an interview or release information on its testing capabilities and any actions taken regarding the pesticides. The response has drawn criticism from private labs and industry stakeholders alike. People want to know, where's the governor? Despite several recalls of contaminated products, the report contends that many tainted batches are still on store shelves. Frustrated by the slow response, Josh Switter, CEO of Infinite Chemical Analysis Labs, sent a letter to California Governor Gavin Newsom and cannabis regulators. Those failing products alone represented 150,000 packages of flower, vapes, or pre-rolls for sale to unsuspecting consumers, Switter wrote. The government's responsibility does not end after writing regulation. Get in the comments and let me know what you're thinking and how you feel.